Why? I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, you know, a fucking. Yeah, I mean, why not? I mean, Malcolm X. The boy Cumberbatch can play a very good Malcolm X, I bet. How ridiculous does that sound? Yeah, Mark Wahlberg is Muhammad Ali. That's hilarious, bro. Truly celebrating diversity. Yeah, if we're gonna be diverse, let's truly be diverse. Then I mean, it gets ridiculous. That's why we don't do it, because it gets ridiculous. But what's this? Neil Druckmann tells all Intergalactic is a massive inbound flop. We could see that. We could see that. We could see that. Sadly, you know what? Druckmann. There was a point. There was a moment. There was a moment and a point in his career where Druckmann was like, he was up there. Yeah, I would say that. And I would say that with my chest. Druckmann was up there with the greats. I said it. Fuck it. Fuck it. Assassinate me if you want. But yeah, there was a time when Neil Druckmann was up there with the, dare I say, the greats. And then, plotch into a pile of feces. But what has he got to say here? Smash JT. I can tell us the words. What's this? Mate, look at Discord. What's that? What's happened? Oh. Oh. This is AI. This is AI. It's fooling me. Naruto, Tom Holland.
12 years ago, a nine-tailed fox suddenly appeared.
The demon known as QB threatened to destroy everything.
Your bro, AI is...
All the ninja clans rose up to defend their villages.
The fourth Hokage trapped the spirit of QB in a human body. The child that received this curse was called Naruto.
This is hilarious.
I will become the best ninja this world has ever seen.
Fuck.
You're the worst ninja I've ever seen.
You're really getting on my nerves, Sasuke.
A ninja must see through deception.
Real power is forged from desire.
Sick.
The next generation will always surpass the previous one. It's one of the never-ending cycles in life.
Shadow clone technique.
That's... It's logical, isn't it? What he just said is literally logical. Yeah, true.
There are no shortcuts to becoming Hokage.
In the grand scheme of time,
Who the fuck is that? Is that our boy? Witcher? Is that our boy, Henry?
you're nothing more than a trivial footnote.
Right, Kiri! Yeah!
You've attacked my friends, now you gotta pay. Rasengan!
That's fucking hilarious, bruv. Oh my god. You are not such a good ninja. I just want to be a good ninja. It's hilarious, bruv. Brilliant. I can't wait for it. I'm on the edge of the seat.
I've been working on this project at Naughty Dog for 4 years now. We just announced it. It's called
Intergalactic?
Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet. It's our venture into more sci-fi stuff.
Sony has recently published a video of Neil Druckmann interviewing with Alex Garland, discussing how their creator journeys have worked, and during the meeting, Neil Druckmann decided to start talking about Naughty Dog's upcoming game, Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet, the game that a lot of gamers out there are looking at saying, yeah, it looks like a woke slot fest that I don't want anything to do
100%.
with. Well,
Look. That's a woman. Not a hard nut. It's not a hard nut.
Stuff that Neil Druckmann started talking about with it didn't seem to help with any of...
When I look at this, and I feel the same as the first time when I saw it. Tiresome. I feel exhausted. When I look at this, I feel knackered. I feel like, fuck. I feel like a headache is incoming or some sort of explaining is incoming. Oh, fuck. Oh. Tiresome.
Those fears. What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Smash JT. Neil Druckmann discussed Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet, as a game that's going to focus heavily on religion. And obviously, there's a lot of the message involved with the game, at least from the trailer itself, combined with Naughty Dog's recent history of games. You put it all together and say, yeah, this game that's coming out from them seems pretty doomed for failure.
Yeah. Right, Jeff?
Hit that subscribe, give me a like, and check out SmashJT.com for the full article discussing the interview of Neil Druckmann and Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet.
Oh yeah, Kazuki, my brother. Are you enjoying Velgard? Sorry.
And how this game looks to be even
Play it, got 100% it.
worse than many people thought. But before we even go too far into the video, let me show you guys my favorite clip from this whole thing, because I feel like it sums everything up perfectly.
Who gives a shit?
Exactly.
True.
So we finally...
True. One bit of truth. Who gives a shit? Exactly. It's the whole gem.
things. I feel like it sums everything up perfectly.
Who gives a shit?
Exactly.
So we finally have some information from
Fucking 07. Fucking 07.
the source themselves discussing Intergalactic, the
This game's not for you, innit? It's not for you, bruv. Don't know why you're watching this. This game's not for you. Yeah, it's not for you. Don't buy it. It's not for you.
Heretic Prophet. More than
Okay.
just space cowboy girl boss in space that is trying to save the future, and it's a different version of the 80s.
It takes place 2,000 years in an alternate future that deviates in the late 80s.
Oh, so let's go cyberpunk touch. To be honest, I have 5 hours on it, and it's been okay. Yeah, man. You? Yeah. Yeah, you? Ah, yeah. Yeah. You? See you. Look at my mouth. Patience of a saint. See you.
Wow.
And we spent like years just coming up with that timeline, and it's dealing...
Sort of like a cyberpunk style, isn't it? Because cyberpunk, the whole genre cyberpunk. And one thing I got to say is like CD Projekt Red calling their cyberpunk-based game cyberpunk has sort of, in a sly little way, hijacked the word cyberpunk. Because when I say cyberpunk, I mean cyberpunk, the genre cyberpunk. And for me, that's like 80s. It's like a deviated universe. but it's from the 80s. Mostly from the guys that were writing it at the time. Neuromancer, the guy who wrote Neuromancer. Stuff like that, that's how I imagine it. And what, for years, they were formulating a plot of this. No, you didn't. You read Neuromancer.
With
Blade Runner and all that.
It's funny. It's like I joke about this with the team. It's like, oh, we made a game with The Last of Us 2. We made certain creative decisions. That got us a lot of hate. A lot of people.
Yeah. The one with the shoulders. The rugby player, or if you're American foosball. Butch. Oh yeah, I remember. I didn't play it. I watched from afar with binoculars and a barge pole.
People love it, but a lot of people hate that game.
Who gives a shit?
Exactly.
No.
Yeah, it's the truest thing in this whole fucking thing. Who gives a shit? Exactly. That's not what you should be saying. Who gives a shit? Exactly. 10 years later. So guys, we're going into liquidation. If anyone would like to buy this mouse, this is the mouse that I used to design Ellie from The Last of Us. Would you like to buy it? Please? I'm poor. I live under a bridge. So what happens after that?
Apparently, it's a lot deeper than that. And by deeper, I mean a new take on religion.
Where the timeline deviates, this new religion becomes pretty prominent.
Is it going to be gay religion?
And then we spend years just building out this religion of like from the original prophet all the way how it gets like changed and sometimes bastardized. And
It's like same-sex marriage is the norm, and opposite sex is forbidden in this universe. Imagine. How did they continue? I'm joking. I'm just literally waffling.
it evolves over all these years, and then like all these people from this.
How many? You said 2,000 years.
2000.
Who cares? Exactly. Who gives a fuck? Exactly.
Coincidentally,
You said it, bro. Yeah, man. Right. Who cares? Who gives a fuck, man? No one does.
2,000 years.
Coincidentally, 2000.
Naughty Dog's controversial top dog, Neil Druckmann, has finally pulled back the curtain on the studio's next big project, Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet. And of course, to no one's surprise, it looks like another heavy-handed, narrative-driven game built to push thought-provoking woke themes rather than any kind of actual fun gameplay. Given the direction that Druckmann has been taking Naughty Dog in the recent years, it's not too surprising. And the Heretic Prophet taking a stance focusing heavily on religion and faith in an alternate future immediately raised plenty of red flags all around, suggesting to me that it will be yet another extremely divisive, bloated, and pretentious experience that ultimately will alienate core gamers. Would I like to be wrong about this?
Seems like that.
I don't know, actually. I kind of want Naughty Dog to fail with the direction that Neil Druckmann's been taking things. It's the only way that Sony would learn a lesson that this is not the direction that gamers want things to go. But then again, if Neil Druckmann's able to learn lessons from the past of what people liked and didn't like, then sure, I'm open to it. But I wouldn't hold my breath.
And this whole religion takes place on this one planet, and then at one point, all communication stops from this planet.
Nice.
And you're playing a bounty hunter that's chasing her bounty, and she crash lands on this planet.
Oh.
Despite all the negativity surrounding this game, even
I've never seen that before.
initially, because we've just had one overview trailer
Exhausted. I see this. I'm instantly shattered. I'm ready for the bed. I'm knackered.
of it that barely touched on what the game actually entailed. The comment section is oddly curated to a lot of positive sentiment, at least currently, and it's gotta make you wonder.
Curated, bro. That's literally Smash. Oh, Jeff. That was so brilliant. That was subtly brilliant. The curated comment section. I mean,
If they might be doing some deleting of negativity in order to try to change the perception of the ordinary every person going to the comment section for reinforcement of what this game is.
Yeah, it's people. They've got people like them Redditors that I showed you earlier. They're the ones deleting the comments.
And trying to present it in a better way. But then looking at the dislikes on it, and you're like, yeah, no, this doesn't match up. But first things first, let's dive into the timeline deviating from reality and, honestly, common sense. So here's the long and the short of it. The game's set to take place around the year 2000, but not in our timeline. Instead, it diverges from the 1980s when we see a new religion apparently emerging that reshapes civilization. This mysterious faith is centered on the planet Semperia, and it seems to be the core of the game's setting. Yet details remain quite vague beyond the fact that no one has had contact with Semperia for over 600 years. Players take on the role of Jordan, the shaved head
Jordan. Oh.
protagonist, who crash lands on the isolated planet
Jordan, Jesse, fucking Alex,
with
Siam.
no knowledge of what happened to its people.
At one point, all communication stops from this planet.
Nice.
And you're playing a bounty hunter that's chasing her bounty, and she crash lands on this planet. And it's, and I really wanted to make a game about faith and religion, but also about
this.
The man's a fucking simp. Who gives a fuck?
It sounds
just being lonely. So many of the previous games we've done, there's always like an ally with you, and you're talking. I was like, I really want you to be lost in a place that you're really confused about what happened here. Who are the people here? What was the history? And in order to get off this planet, like, again, no one has been heard from this planet for 600 years. So if you ever have hoped to have a chance to get off, you have to figure out what happened here.
And honestly, if we weren't living in the age of wokeness and seeing all these games injected with the message, it kind of sounds,
You know, living in the gayest generation in human history.
vaguely interesting. Like,
Like statistically.
I gotta be honest, be like, oh, that sounds like a sci-fi adventure that I might be willing and interested to partake in. But then you see Neil Druckmann, the person that seems to be quite indoctrinated with the message, and I can't help but think that this is going to be used as an avenue to push said message.
Yeah.
So many questions
I'll bet.
I'd ask you, but I'm not going to, because it would put you on the spot, I think. And also,
I'll cut it if I say it.
Yo, bro, I instantly don't like this interview guy. I don't like him.
The wrong thing. It's fine.
The premise sounds to me like a sci-fi mystery, and it's clear
Does
Naughty
not
Dog's
seem
main
like a cool
focus
guy.
isn't on world building, but more so on creating a deeply personal experience centered on
Them fucking eyebrows, though.
isolation, reflection, and critical deconstruction of faith itself. Druckmann's description of the game should make it
Annoying.
abundant.
Looks annoying as well. I'm proper nitpicking it today, boy. Woo! Nothing is fucking safe.
Clear to anyone paying attention that the story they're working on is built entirely around faith and religion, two topics that he's never been very subtle about handling in his previous works. And pair that with Naughty Dog's track record, especially recently, it's easy to assume that Intergalactic, the
where it's
heretic
headed.
prophet, will try to be yet another attempt to challenge religious belief systems,
Yeah.
and most likely painting them as dangerous, oppressive, or
Evil.
even outdated, while pushing a progressive narrative in their place. Because, you know,
Yeah.
the message, I mean, I'd love to be
100%.
wrong about this, but past performance is typically a good indicator of future expectations.
I've gotten in trouble actually because if trying to protect the story, we've released a trailer for Last of Us 2 where we faked a shot and we showed Joel somewhere where he would never make it to because of things that happened in that story.
as a deliberate,
As a deliberate way to throw off the scent.
Yeah.
And people that didn't like the game accused that of being false advertisement.
okay, again, who gives a shit?
And with a name
Yeah, these guys are great people, man.
like the heretic prophet, it's not hard to guess
Better trust them with your games there, them people there. Yeah, man. They love you.
where the story is going to be going. I'm going to expect a storyline where the religion is being demonized, the protagonist struggles with identity and belonging, shaves
Yeah.
her head to be a rebel.
They still got like... They still got CDs.
and the game's message becomes more important than the gameplay itself. The fact that the entire experience being presented here revolves around making players feel lonely and questioning the path that led them to it.
I'm seeing loads of brands. I'm seeing loads of advertised brands. I saw Adidas, I saw Sony. What the fuck is this shitfest?
They are only reinforces the idea that this is yet another Druckmann-led introspective slog.
Porsche. Look. This is just gonna be a fucking advert. A game full of adverts, bro. I predicted this shit. It's gonna have adverts. They're gonna I never predicted the fact that this game will have adverts. I predicted years ago that games would have adverts. And they started with the football games. Porsche. Yeah. Porsche spaceship.
Meant to make players feel miserable rather than entertained. Again, could I be wrong? Of course, but looking at modern day Naughty Dog, I'm gonna bet on what's more likely here.
Yes, these things have to be sold, and the way they are sold, it seems, is by creating trailers that tell the entire story. I as an individual, have a choice to.
No. Oh, no, you gotta be creatively good at doing trailers. I need to see the Death Stranding 2.
Not access those things, and so I try not to, and it's one of the benefits of not being on social media. Actually, is that I'm immunized from so much conversation, so I will be able to arrive at this game knowing very little. But what you've described sounds fantastic.
Oh, thanks.
And so smart as well.
Guys, Neil, just get your dick out and he'll suck it for you.
Appreciate it. Love the glazing.
Everything about Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet, screams woke, narrative-driven slop. Easy to guess from the teaser trailer they showcased a few months back, the game is focused entirely on questioning religion and being set in an alternate history, where faith goes
Ubisoft logo. No, I'm joking. PTSD.
wrong and being built to make players feel like they're lost and reflective rather than being entertained by playing a video game.
Yeah.
It's
gonna be again. Is it gonna be like Velgard, where it's gonna be a lecture, a lesson, and they sit there lecturing you, political lecturing, with agenda? Fuck that.
Yeah, it's so.
People play video games to escape that from reality. Like the sooner they realize this, the sooner they can get back to their supposed passion, which is making games, and like good games, you know. Enjoyable, fun games, where most importantly you're having fun when you're making it as well.
We still have a ways to go.
They're clearly not. They got a fucking demon on them telling them this is the agenda. Pump it in. No, I don't want to, master. Whip.
But I'm
Sure.
kind of very excited to see. And it's like, again, these things are so complex and big, and there's so many people involved. It's like I still don't know exactly what this thing is going to look like at the end. It's like I have a theory, I have an idea. But it's still evolving and changing as we're making it.
Right off the bat, I'm looking at this being the female lead protagonist, shaving her head, being the hardcore girl boss that she is, and pairing that with how it looks like the prototypical woke female in the modern era, paired with
like a dyke or something like that.
Naughty Dog and Neil Druckmann in the direction of what they did with Last of Us Part 2. It's not hard to imagine that this game is going to follow closely in the footsteps of that. Which, don't worry, I'm sure it's going to be praised by all those woke game journalists out
Exhausted.
there and all those ex-Twitter activist bots that just want to praise this game every chance they get. But in reality, will be wholeheartedly rejected by gamers, the people with wallets purchasing said game. At this point, Naughty Dog doesn't...
Journalists will suck the dick off of this one. 11 out of 10, this one. Best game ever existed.
even seem to be trying to hide their agenda. They've abandoned the fun, adventure spirit that once defined them and have fully embraced being a platform for ideological storytelling. If Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet, is the next big project, then it's safe to say that Naughty Dog's decline is far from over. But this isn't even the most troubling aspect of the entire interview, because after I watched it, I was like, oh, let me take a look in the comment section to see what people are saying with the feedback, because I see there's a good amount of
all curated.
dislike with the ratio with this game. There's probably a handful of comments that aren't liking it. And I scroll through them and I'm like, yeah, no. I mean, maybe I found one or two that was critical of it, but the rest of them just felt very generic, automated, and bot-like.
The Last of Us 2 is my favorite piece of art ever created. got to be an extra in 28 years later too. So this combination of these two and this conversation is really great. Both really cool dudes. So what is this, the guy who done 28 years later, or the 28 days later series, or whatever the fuck that shit was? That dickhead on the right, the one who said, who gives a fuck? Oh. Yeah. Both are genius. The Last of Us Part 2 is my favorite piece of art ever created. Yeah, man. Now, there's loads of art out there. There's loads of art. We can hope that the poster like continues looking for good art, not just stays with The Last of Us 2 as their favorite piece of art ever created. Like, they've done it, they've completed life because they found it. I hope their doors are still open, because there's some proper good bits of art out there, man, in my opinion, that destroy The Last of Us Part 2. Wrecking it. Last of Us Part 2 is there, ragged, haggard. Just no more, man. Please stop. No. Greatest piece of art.
Like, trying to prop this game up, and I'm like, who are these people?
But yeah, it's their opinion, so they can have it. Good. But it just tells me the sort of person that they are. Yeah, man.
Talking to.
People don't understand when they do little dumb shit statements like that. It speaks volumes on how their character is, the sort of person that they are. They're highlighting the sort of person that they are and go, oh, lovely, swerve that one.
These are very suspicious comments that are made in the comment section, and it doesn't align with the amount of dislikes that you see on the video itself. There are a lot of dislikes, and this kind of artificial engagement reeks of some strong desperation. It wouldn't be the first time
Strong desperation and overtime. That's what that is.
A major studio or publisher tried to manufacture positivity when faced with overwhelming backlash, but
let me get a Dr. Pepper, 1 sec.
Pretty over the top obvious. If this game were truly as exciting as Naughty Dog wanted people to believe, they wouldn't need to curate the conversation the way they seem to be. But we all know better at this point, and they aren't a big fan of us thinking for ourselves. We want engaging worlds, compelling gameplay, and stories that don't beat us over the head with some sort of ideological message. If this is the game that Naughty Dog is banking on, they might be in for a rude awakening when this so-called thought-provoking experience bombs harder than the spaceship crash landing on Semperia. But time will certainly tell, and I am extremely curious to see what happens with this title in particular. I'm going to leave it there. If you guys want more information, check out SmashJT.com. I will link this article in the description below. If you appreciate what I'm doing, hit that join button. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, you stay smashing.
So many questions I could ask you, but I'm not going to, because it would
Here it
put
comes.
you on the
It's
spot,
coming.
I think.
It's coming.
And also...
It's coming. It's on its way.
If I say the wrong thing, it's fine.
Oh, I was going to say, who gives a fuck? Because, you know, I definitely don't.